besties.
Hello.
Hey. Welcome to Season 5, Episode 5. What do you do when you feel overwhelmed at school?
And we've spoken a lot about relationship building and being that safe space for our learners. It is about saying, I'm here to connect with.
It's really thinking about the essentials. What do the children need in this moment when they enter the calm space or the calm area of the classroom?
There are rules that you will need to create as a team, as a class family, create that together.
Timers. And this is my favourite timer, okay? It's just a personal fave. Hi, besties.
Hello.
Hey. Welcome to Season 5, Episode 5. And we are talking about the calm space. Now, the calm space is a very simple concept, but it feels really big because it's not like a non-negotiable when you're setting up your classroom. It's not something necessarily, hopefully the new teachers, that we've trained with or we've done in trainings. So it does feel like this big unknown, which can feel a little bit scary.
Yeah.
Now, before I talk about the calm space, I just wanted to share our 3 C's for calm in TGMC, which is containment, co-regulation, and calm tools. Sadly, it's not an acrostic, but maybe one day. So I wanted to ask you girls, because this is really the concept behind a calm space. What do you do when you feel overwhelmed at school?
For me, it's finding quiet and finding that space where it is quiet. I know it's hard in a school, but also if you are in a classroom, it's about finding that peace with your children as well and having that moment too.
Yeah.
I think for me, like sometimes it's I know it seems antisocial, but having lunch by yourself, you know, having the time to just decompress and just not have any noise. And sometimes when you feel overwhelmed, you then go into the staff room, have a lunch and feel like you need to talk and laugh and actually you just need that moment just to be. So having lunch by yourself sometimes.
Reset.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you both, finding moments to just have that bit of calm, and often I do that with a little bit of the digital backpack. We'd like to do some calm breathing and actually joining in and regulating with the children is really helpful.
And telling children, I'm actually going to do this for me because you're going to miss the bus.
Yeah.
Like, and actually, so that they can see what that looks like as well. And what about if you feel like you're having an overwhelming week? What does that look like? Like, how do you tweak your week or how do you make changes to support yourself?
So for me, like if I've got a to-do list, which all of us generally do, and it's looking super long that week, what I'll do is just put a star by the ones that I will do, and the rest of them I'll leave, and if I manage to do them, I do them. If not,
I love that.
Yeah, similarly to you, I just get a lovely highlighter. Highlight the here and now
From B&M.
They're a little bit upmarket, these guys. These are Rymans. Because someone once said to me the phrase, and I always remember it now because I'm very good at procrastinating, hit the crocodile closest to the front of the boat. Rather than like getting all those other things done, because actually they're not the deadlines that are coming up now. Do those things that you need to do first, which has stayed with me. It doesn't always work, but
Nice to come back to that. I like that. What about you, Tan?
For me, it's my connection. So I think it's about finding your safe people in the week to be able to have those moments of, I'm having a wobble as well. And I think for our pupils, and we've spoken a lot about relationship building and being that safe space for our learners, it is about saying, I'm here to connect with before correcting somewhere here.
We love to see it.
Somewhere on my t-shirt, who knows?
I love that. And I think what's key with all of these is that you are all making choices. You're making choices to support yourself. And imagine if you didn't have that. If you had to do that to-do list, if you have to do, you can't do that backpack. If it has to be exactly the same as it was and there's no flexibility there, and how difficult that would be and how much harder it would make your day or week. And I think we also need to consider our children and the fact that for them this is 10 times harder, and that's not a statistic, okay? But it is so much harder because their brain isn't fully developed yet. We know that. We know their prefrontal cortex doesn't develop until their mid-20s. So we know that it is overriding, it's all consuming. And we also know that they just don't have as many experiences as us. So we can often rationalize and say, okay, well, I have done this before, you know, when you pep yourself up, done it before, I'll do it again. But for our children, they don't have that kind of library of experiences to fall back on. So for them, it does feel all consuming in the classroom, which moves us on to our snackable science. And the first one is physical and emotional containment. And I think this links really well to what we know about their brain developmentally, because the purpose of containment is understanding how overwhelming it is to feel that emotion in front of 29 other children in the middle of a carpet, in the middle of a history lesson. It's so overwhelming. And for them, like we talked about in our last episode about giving them a voice and supporting them to advocate for themselves, there is no kind of way out. So what's key about containment, and it's really the ethos behind a calm space, it's an area. So it means they don't have to feel this emotion in front of everyone. We're just going to a smaller, calmer space where they can begin to activate that parachute, that parasympathetic nervous system. So that really is the basics of containment. And then we're talking about regulation, how it's not innate.
Yeah, well, a lot of us do this all the time. We make this mistake of thinking our children just know what to do in these moments, and we, you know, I've overheard people just like, sort yourself out. And actually, what does that even mean? Especially for our younger learners, what does that even mean? And again, like you said, with the prefrontal cortex development, a lot of our children, even upper key stage 2, haven't always got the skills to be able to do that. So it's about us co-regulating and providing those spaces and explicitly teaching them how to manage them, and then again creating that third classroom person in their environment so that they know exactly what to do and where to go in those times.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, if we look at the research, I love to do this in training. I love to do like a developmental quiz and say, okay, at what age should children be able to self-regulate? And you know, often people say 6, 7, 8. And actually, the research is more around 15, which means, and by self-regulate, it means I feel a certain way and I'm going to do this action to support myself. That means all of our listeners who are primary educators, for all of us, none of our children can self-regulate. So we have to come with that mindset first. Yeah. What can we do? And we look at these steps within the regulation backpack. We can give them prompts. We can practice it. We can give them that adult support. But all of our children are going to need a degree of support. And that's going to give them that really strong foundation for when they are going into teenage years.
And it's also like reminding them that, like, for example, when we guide our children to the calm pace, it's not it's a non-punitive space for them. It's reminding them that actually this is so that you can release all your energy, all your feelings in a safe space, away from everyone else if you need that privacy, and come back when you're ready. It's about reminding them of that, not saying like, you need to get over to the calm space.
Exactly. And that's where your check-ins come in. It's what we spoke about last episode. Yeah. You've told me that something's wrong. You told me I need something. Now I actually know what to do. I can't just be like, yeah, we're gonna figure that out, hon.
We'll put a pin in that.
Exactly. We can say, okay, I hear you. Let's go to the calm space and let's figure this out together. It's that, again, going back to that classroom by design, it's something that's going to work all year long.
And we're not going to get it right. So we've said this throughout every episode. It's about starting small and getting good at the little things and building it up over time. We spoke a lot about reviewing the way you're doing things, reviewing your equipment, reviewing your spots in your classroom, what works best, and getting good at it. So reduce your own cognitive load. And who knows, the moment you're feeling overwhelmed in the week, a child is going to feel overwhelmed in the week. So we're not always going to get it right. But it's about that moment of reflection to say, what can we do next as well?
Absolutely. And just having that action. It's not just like, oh, yeah, that's hard. I'm going to go home and feel really upset now. And, oh, do you know what? Yeah, it was hard for those children. It's about saying, this is tricky, but hey, we all have big feelings sometimes, and there is a place we can go. There are things we can do to support ourselves within the classroom. And that's what it's all about, giving them those tools for life. And we were talking about the research behind schools that embed that.
Yeah, so the DFE shared some information around mental health and behaviour in schools, and actually schools that embed spaces for regulation reduces the risk of suspension, for example, for some of our learners. That increases their feeling of belonging as well, and it's about giving them what their nervous system needs before behaviour escalates as well. So yeah, we're going to talk more about that in terms of policy later.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always say, if those feelings aren't supported, if those needs aren't met, you're going to see it in behaviour generally in two ways, that they're going to act out or they're going to opt out. And we don't want that to happen. We want to get in there where we talk about PPS, proactive preventative strategies. We want to get in there and support our children for who they are, rather than waiting for the behaviour and trying to unravel it from there. So it's about getting ahead and supporting our children and their needs. So I thought we should address some elephants in the room. Who's got a elephant sound? No, sorry. It's actually really hard to do an elephant sound. Yeah. Calm space bundle packs. So often,
Evie was to say anything.
I think they're always with the right intention, aren't they?
Of course.
But it's just frustrating when you are kind of on the TGMC side of it and you can see that that's almost set, the fact that these are around is setting teachers up to fail.
Yeah, and I think what's really key with this is when we're talking about a calm space, this is a fairly new initiative, research-backed concept, which means, of course, there is some kind of hiccups along the way of how people present that. And there are a lot of calm space bundle packs, which I'm sure, of course, are from those good intentions. But as we have looked at in previous episodes, it's not going to support calm because they are normally multiple posters, multiple pictures, and that is a cognitive overload. Sometimes there's lots of different colours as well. But also from what we know about regulation and explicitly teaching it, it will be wallpaper. If children haven't practiced it and don't know what they're doing there, then they're just going to an area of the room which is decorated in a different way.
Should be doing, not just sitting and looking.
Yeah.
And so a bundle pack of posters is not... It's not what it's about.
Yeah, and it should be driven with your children. So when they, similar to what we said about the check-in and the fact that it's a working wall, when they've learned something, that's when you develop it with them. When they've explored something, that's when you add it there. And another one was pop-up calm spaces. Again, if you search calm spaces, you might see these and then you think, I don't have enough money. Because they're like teepees, they're gorgeous, fairy lights, tents, and that's great. But it doesn't have to be. It does not have to be a stunning pop-up calm space that people are going to buy tickets to see. It just doesn't. It just needs to be an area of your room which is purposeful. So we just wanted to kind of address those and bust those, that you don't now have to go and download a 30-page calm bundle.
And I think going back, if it works for your class, it works. If fairy lights work, it works.
Of course.
TP works, it works. But what we are saying is, you know your profile of students best. If you know that your children are going to feel a certain way with certain elements in their classroom, we spoke about overstimulation already, we are kind of setting them up for fail if you know that those TPs or those fairy lights are going to be ripped down at some point. And that's happened to me before. And it's just about saying, well, rather than me putting it back, how can I adjust this space and adapt this space for learners knowing their profile as well?
Absolutely. And I think always going back to building it together. And that's why we love the story Addie's Me Cave, because it's the story that I would use to teach a calm space, but it's about a child and her parent building it together. It's a really nice one to say, okay, well, what does this look like for our class? So what actually does work? Go on, Soph.
My famous saying, less is more.
Copyright.
We do not, I need to see. We do, I think it is, again, with those bundles, it's stripping it back. It's really thinking about the essentials. What do the children need in this moment when they enter the calm space or the calm area of the classroom? What are they going to go for, and what do we need to give them to successfully regulate and come back? Because what we do want them is to be able to do that independently and then be able to come back into the classroom.
And going back to the priming their brain, I know what happens here. And also going back to when we said, what is design? Planned, purposeful, intentional. That is in every aspect of what we're doing. Is my calm space planned? Have I planned it? Is it purposeful? Is it intentional? That's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Definitely. And that priming in terms of the regulation backpack can be done with the digital backpack, the perfect couple, if you like. And it has got every single one of those backpacks, digital resources to go through with the children. So the breathing animations, there are the focus. I
think we're going to show it actually,
There's
aren't
loads,
we?
yeah.
Oh, yes, go for
So
it.
we've all got like a little box. And these are only 4 of them because there's 4 of us. But there are 2 more, which is connect and celebrate. But really the idea behind this is the purpose of the digital backpack is there micro breaks throughout the day to support regulation.
Yeah.
5 minutes or so. And it means you can fit it in, like you girls are saying so beautifully, you can fit it into your visual timetable. We love that visual timetable. And they are rehearsing regulation. So when they go to the calm space, it's not like, okay, what do we got here? What's this little game? It's, I know exactly what this is because I practice it every day. Yeah. Dare I say it, just like place value, she loves to compare it. But it's comparing our regulation to what we do with academics. So you have got the focus backpack.
So one of the things in here is the sketch and stretch little card. So obviously it can be practiced on the digital backpack with videos, but also just with the cards that have just got the instructions so that when children know what they are doing, that's just a prompt at that point. It's not, I'm teaching you. It's just a, remember, when you do the mirror one, it looks like this.
Exactly. It's just that prompt. And again, the great thing about the digital backpack is they're able to go, I really like this one. So when they go to the calm space and they open it up, they can choose. Yeah. So I've got help. So help is specifically if children have experiencing a stress response. So actually what we have for this is a really clear lesson plan for this. Shall I say lesson plan? Regulation plan, regulation rhythm for this, so that it's really clear, because often what happens with a stress response is we don't know when children can go back into class and they end up going back up to peak escalation. And actually it can take, and I've got a little adult, because normally if it's a stress response you will have an adult, and it says it's a little bit of information, but it says it can take between 20 to 60 minutes to fully recover after a stress response, which I honestly didn't know until the last couple of years. And the amount of times children are in such peak dysregulation and then they're having to go back in. And it's just a little plan. So the first thing you do is you co-regulate, and it's got the visuals there. They can choose. Then it's connect, so supporting that safety, belonging. And again, there's 2 linked to the backpack. And then it's construct. So, okay, you're nice and calm, off you go. No, before that, let's put a plan together. So maybe it's a now and next, maybe it's a pathways. So we're really supporting children to fully regulate and be successful. That's our help.
So cute.
Are you going to go for yours, Soph?
I'm going to go for mine because it's a firm favourite, the calm backpack. Oh. So, like Evie said, there's some digital it's taken from the digital ones, but one of the class favourites in my class, we have 2 favourites, cricket breathing, but our first favourite is bumblebee breathing. So it's literally a image of it, and the children know exactly what to do because we've practiced it. We do it as a whole class, and then when they go into their calm corner, they know exactly, they've got some prompts to remind them of what to do. So this is my favourite and a class favourite too.
And just a quick one on that, just if you don't mind, just entertain me. With all of the breathing ones, they are all research backed. So specifically cricket, bumblebee, the sound bath, they support children and adults to make a vibrating noise when you exhale. And this activates your vagus nerve, which is the nerve du jour, as Kimberly says, who is the author of How to Build a Healthy Brain. And it goes throughout your body. So it's a really helpful nerve for activating that parasympathetic nervous system. So when you go, it's actually activating that. So all of it is again, going back to the fact that it's purposeful, intentional. It's not just like, let's breathe now. It's all linked to research.
I love that. So I've got Energize. This one's your one after those half-term breaks when the children are coming and yawning on your carpet. So we've got Energize, and in Energize there's a variety of tools there that you can pop in, and we've got our 2-minute movers and our energizing yoga with some model activities to complete.
And can I also say, like with the Energizer Black backpack, we in our class use it just before. I know they're going to sit for ages, so my lot love it just before an assembly, like quick 2-minute star jumps, or they get going, get your wiggles out. Let's do a Energizer backpack right in so that they're ready for assembly. Otherwise, they're doing it in assembly.
And also with all of the Energizer backpacks, one thing that I found doing movement breaks in class. I found that they were then up here. And I was like, oh my goodness. What's really key with the digital backpack ones is they take them up and they bring them down. So you go to that peak movement, but then you go to like micro movements, and then you go back down to breathing. So as a teacher, an educator, you can feel safe putting it on, knowing that afterwards you don't have to then deal with extra chaos, because I found that really hard. You're like, I know they need to move, but I really don't want to put it on.
Let's not do Simba right now.
Love the emoji backpacks in my class.
Oh
we
yeah,
cannot
exactly.
get enough of the emojis.
Tan wants to say something. Go on, Tan. Micro expression, 17 milliseconds.
You mentioned assemblies, though. And talking about moments when we're sitting for long, I wonder if there's leaders in the room that manage assemblies, if we could look at ways to embed backpacks as a whole school initiative. Why not pause assembly to teach our school that it's okay to move? Why not have those moments to energize, to refocus again, so that it's a consistent message across the school? Why do we have to sit for so long?
This is why it's so important to read Tan's micro expressions, because they're so valuable. I'm like, she's got something to say, she's got something to say. Yes, and also flexi sitting.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we were going to talk about rules, weren't we?
Definitely, because it's great to have, obviously, the children trained on what to do when they go to the calm space, but it's more than just go and sit down in there. Like that in itself, even though they might know what to do, is too broad. There are rules that you will need to create as a team, as a class family, create that together. There are calm passes that children will need to make based on their experiences, which is why it is so important to practice doing the digital backpack. I've done a sensory tool carousel before, different tools on each table, find which ones you like, which one will work for you, which ones do you just not care for. And make that agreement, have that understanding of it's going to be 5 minutes when you go to the calm space. We put the lanyard on, you get your calm pass out, and we set the timer for 5 minutes. I will leave you for those 5 minutes, but understand that at the end I will come back and we'll chat about it. I'm not saying that that's problem solved, but it's a step in the right direction.
I think for us, definitely that's something that we had to establish in the early years, is making sure that the children know it's an agreed time, and also that only one person can be in that space, and what to do if we do see someone in that space. We're not like don't engage, but like give them do not engage, but actually just give them that space. So I just say to them, look, if someone's in the calm space, we're giving them space. They need that time, so let's not talk to them until they're ready to talk. And it's really, really nice, like when they come out, you've got someone, even before I get there, I've got one of the little ones like, are you okay now? Are you all right? Are you coming? Do you need help? And it's like they've built this culture around they're having their time, and they'll return when they're ready. And it's just reminding them of how many children can be in that space. It's just saying, look, there's only one person. This is what you do. Again, the timer goes on, and then we can have a chat once you're ready. And sometimes they'll just come out and say, I'm ready now. And they'll come over and have that conversation with me or another adult.
Some people worry sometimes as well about what if it just becomes a novelty and it stops having its purpose. And one, that's why the training is so important. But two, let them all have a go.
Yes, absolutely.
When I set mine up, it was closed initially. The resources were there, but it was closed until we had come up with the rules, and I just taught them about it. And then I said to the children, over the next week, you will all have a turn.
Yeah.
And the children haven't then gone, oh, they're having a go, and because they've had a go, and they're like, okay, that's lovely, but I don't need that right now.
Yeah.
But when they have needed it, they've appreciated it.
And this is why calm spaces, we need to think about how we can ensure that it's embedded proactively as opposed to reactively, because in some cases it does happen that only a certain child goes there, and it's seen that it's just that child. There are moments where a specific child needs their own space, absolutely, but if you're using as a whole class, then be proactive with it as well.
Absolutely, and it's understanding that we all have big feelings throughout the day, and children are only going to understand that by us modelling, but by using the regulation backpack, by teaching using the emotion shared lessons. Otherwise, we will fall into that trap, and everyone should be able to recognise, especially with all of the core resources like our Makaton, our communication boxes, they can say, this feels big for me right now, and we can regulate to educate people. I wanted to say one more thing before I forget. When they are there, timers. And this is my favourite timer, okay? It's just a personal fave because it's the dial, so you can see it, which I quite like as well. Yeah. But for me, really, really important, because your gal forgets they're there. I'm just going to be honest. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, so it's no English for you today. So do use the timer. Yeah. And also, it might feel overwhelming to be like, okay, but what was that about the rules? We've got it all. We've got your sequence of calm space lessons. We have your agreement in there. We have your agreement posters. Everything is intentional. Everything is purposeful. And everything is here for you. So we're here with all of that research, but everything ready to go. And you can find it in www.tgmc.uk. Oh, you left me hanging there.
I forgot that.
Bye, besties.
See ya.